sleepover tonight. Heck yeah.
This kid went to sleep over at his friend's house for the first time. When he got there, he noticed there was a stopwatch hanging on the wall right outside the bathroom door. Now, he didn't think too much of it at first, but that night he went to take a shower because they were playing with dirt earlier. He goes in, closes the door, locks it, he's showering. Right when the water turned on, he heard a beep. Apparently, what happens in this house is anytime anybody in this household goes to the bathroom, whether it's to shower, take a dump ski, or anything, the dad would start the timer. Now, if you came out of the bathroom before the timer hit 7 minutes, you were good, nothing would happen. But if it hit 7 minutes, the dad would immediately run downstairs and shut off all of the water. So then whoever would be taking a shower or whatever, or washing their hands, it would turn off. But that wasn't sinister enough for old man. No, he changed his methods. Now, if you were in the shower, after that timer hit 7 minutes, he would go downstairs, but it wouldn't turn the water off. He would just turn off the hot water valve. So the shower water would immediately turn freezing cold. And then all you could hear from that bathroom was the maniacal laughing of the dad downstairs. What a crazy guy. This kid carried 2 lunchboxes to school every single day. One was a normal insulated lunchbox. It had his food in it. The other was a very old, dirty, dented metal lunchbox. He never opened it, and he never let anybody touch it. His friends always asked him, "What's inside that lunchbox, bro?" He would just smile and say, don't worry about it. By middle school, people just started making fun of him for it. Weirdo's got 2 lunchboxes, and that one's a nasty one. Yeah, he's probably got boogers in there. Well, he didn't let this bother him. He went through all the middle school, and on the last day of 8th grade, his friend asks him, "Bro, seriously, what's in there?" He opened it. Inside was tons of notes. Hundreds. Every single lunch note his mom had packed for him since he was in kindergarten. "Good luck on your spelling test. Love you, son. Happy birthday. Can't wait to hear about your test." He never threw them away, and that old metal lunchbox was the very first lunchbox his mom ever bought him. When it got too beat up and rusty to carry food, he just bought another one, but he still carried the metal one around with him. He said that those memories, those notes, were way too valuable to throw away or leave behind. And every day he would read them, and it gave him a little bit of a pick-me-up. That, my friends, is beautiful. This guy went to a friend's house for dinner. Everything was chill until the milk came out. It was a really big family. They were at the table, it was loud. Every single person there gets a glass of milk. And milk for you, 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 milk for me. Bruh. Well, then it starts getting weird. The dad reaches over and grabs his son's milk. "Hey son, let me see your cup." "I'm done with mine." And he pours his leftover milk into his son's cup. Then the mom decides she's done with her milk, so she pours her milk into her daughter's cup. And this just keeps going. When everyone decides they're done drinking milk, they pour it into somebody else's cup. So like milky backwash just rotating through everybody. Now the guest, he's just like, what is going on here? If someone finishes their milk and they want more, "I want some more milk, Mom." "Oh, that's perfect. I'm done with mine. I'll give you it." She just pours it into his cup. At this house, milk does not get wasted. It does not get poured down the sink. It gets recycled. And if everybody at the table is done with their milk, but there's still milk in the cups, they pour that milk back in the carton. And my friends, that is absolutely disgusting. There was a school in Florida that tried to monetize the bathroom. It's so messed up. They gave every student 3 restroom credits a month. And if you ran out, each additional restroom credit was $5 each. This is insane. The principal called it time management training, which didn't make any sense. It's more like a human rights violation. Well, that's when a student named Marcus, what's up, realized that the school just created the most valuable currency on campus. "Okay, I got 2 credits left. I'll trade them for your pre-calc answers and your lunch." "Okay, cool, yeah, deal." Marcus became this bladder broker of sorts. "Hey bro, you never pee, right?" "No, just once before school and once at night." "I'll buy your credits off you." He would either trade these credits or sell them to students who were having an emergency for a massive markup. Now the crazy part is, he began trading, buying, and selling these credits very obviously in front of teachers in the hallway, because his plan was to get caught. So when the principal did catch on, "Marcus, I know what you're doing." "Oh, you do you? You cannot be trading, buying, or selling these bathroom credits." "Well, what are you gonna do about it, huh?" "Oh, well, you're gonna get in big trouble." "No, you're not, because listen up. You got a few options here. You can punish me, but then I'll go to the school board, tell them that you're charging students $5 to use the bathroom. Or you can let me continue and do nothing about it. Or your last and honestly best option, get rid of the credit system. It's a human rights violation, you frickin' idiot." Out of my office now. By the next morning, the bathroom credit system was gone. And honestly, it was all thanks to Marcus. Everybody called this one kid weird. Habo Scabolinda. Huh? He didn't talk much, he ate lunch by himself, always wore the same hoodie. Then there was this other kid named Mason. And Mason wasn't just a bully, he was the biggest bully in school. I'm kind of the frickin' man. He would flick people's ears in the hallway, kick people's shins for no reason. He would sometimes give kids actual swirlies in the toilet. Well, one morning, Mason's at his locker before first period, and he grabs the combination lock. He feels something. He looks at his fingers. It's brown, thick. He sniffs it. What is this? Someone yells, "Bro, why are your hands brown? What is that smell? Bro's got poop on his hands." Mason starts wiping it on his jeans, but it just makes it worse. Now his jeans are brown. Dude, you're gross. Turns out somebody covered the combination lock to his locker with dog poop that morning. By third period, everyone's calling Mason Poop Hands. Yo, you see that guy? That's Poop Hands. And that nickname sticks. For 2.5 years, guess who was the person that put the poop on that locker? The weird kid. I know I'm weird. Sometimes people need to be humbled. He didn't tell people about that for years, but when they heard, they all thought he was a legend. And people still call the bully Poop Hands every now and then. They had just moved into a house in the woods. All right, family, here we are. Go check the place out. We're gonna be so happy here. So they'd only been there for a few weeks. Every once in a while, some wild turkeys would show up in the yard. 5, maybe 6 of them, and they would just wander around. Nobody thought anything of it. Hey, look, kids, the turkeys are back. Yay! Well, Thanksgiving comes around, and although there are turkeys by the house, this guy doesn't hunt one, he goes to the store and buys one. He cooks the turkey, the table's all set, and now the dining room table is right in front of this giant window. Well, he puts the cooked turkey down, he grabs his carving knife, and he starts to carve this turkey. Okay. Well, as he's deep into the carving, he looks up and out the window. I kid you not, there were 15, maybe 20 wild turkeys lined up, staring directly inside this guy's window as he's carving the turkey he just cooked. What is happening? Honey, I'm hungry. Is food almost ready? Sweetie, look. They're watching us. What? He lowers the knife, takes the turkey, brings it into another room where there are no windows, and he finishes carving it there. And then once this guy moved to a different room, one by one, those turkeys went back into the woods. That is wild. This math teacher was a total freaking nightmare. She required every student to have a specific scientific calculator in her class. The calculator cost $100, but if you forgot yours, too bad. She wouldn't lend you one and you were not allowed to share or borrow off of anybody else's when you were in the classroom. Well, one Saturday, a junior named Marcus was biking in his neighborhood when he spots a massive garage sale. Oh, that looks sick. He goes up and takes a closer look and he finds an absolute gold mine. This tech hoarder was selling a box of 15 perfect condition graphing calculators for $1 each. Well, Marcus didn't even blink. He bought all of them. I'm gonna buy all of them. He dropped $15, took everything home, and he realized he was sitting on over $1,000 of technology. Well, the next Monday, he brought these to school to start a little business. He would stand right outside of that rude teacher's classroom door. It would be 5 minutes before the bell, and he would rent them out to students that didn't have these calculators. Hey, psst, you need one? I know she's tough. $5 to rent for the class period. Oh my God, thank you so much. There's a test today. I was gonna fail it. I got you, dog. After a while, word spread and people would just message him like, hey, got any calculators today? I need one for the class. Yeah, I got a few left. I'll meet you by the bathroom in 10. The teacher eventually said that students could no longer rent these calculators, but that rule never really stuck because at that point, she's just using any excuse to fail students. This kid retired at the end of the year. Then he sold those calculators to people that would buy them for half the price. But he swears he saved a lot of people's grades that year, and that is respect. It's testing week at this one middle school. Normally, kids have the Chromebooks open all day during class, or they're using the school iPad. And as you can imagine, the kids have TikTok tabs open, they're playing games, YouTube is paused somewhere. Well, this week, the teacher says, no Chromebooks or iPads all week this week. The kids are like, what? She then says, we're just gonna be watching movies. Now, when I was in school, that would be the best thing you could hear. There'd be cheering, but this room goes tense. So we're just gonna sit here and stare at nothing? Miss, we're gonna be so bored. This is stupid. Yeah, this is actually messed up. They then start calling the teacher horrible names. You're a frickin' loser idiot. piece of crap. Yeah, I hope you die. It escalates and escalates. One kid flips a desk. Enough! The teacher then grabs the school police liaison. He comes in and shuts this entire debauchery down. Every student in that class gets into big trouble because what the heck is the matter with them? Are kids really that obsessed with the screens these days? Maybe I'm old. But like I said, all I know, movie days when I was in school, the best. This game was banned from the school. It was a game called Get Down, Mr. President, and it worked like this. Anytime, anywhere, somebody could yell, "Get down, Mr. President," and every kid in the area would have to put their finger to their ear, like this. Kind of like how Secret Service agents do. But here's the thing. The last person to put their finger to their ear would get tackled by everybody in the area. Gosh darn it! Get 'em! It would be a full-on dog pile. In the hallways, courtyards, band practice one time. It got so bad that one day a kid was tackled into the water fountain and the water fountain fell off the wall. Water was spraying everywhere. One teacher joined in one time and tackled a student. He was then fired, obviously. The school eventually banned it. They were calling it a coordinated ambush activity. They put it in the announcements and everything, but that just made it worse. Because people still shouted, "Get down, Mr. President." And the kids went, should I play or get in trouble? And most kids still played. That's crazy. It happened during lunch. A kid in a black hoodie walks to the center of the cafeteria. He unzips his giant duffel bag, pulls out a gallon of milk, and dumps it right there on the floor. Then he heads to a different part of the cafeteria, pulls out another gallon of milk, and dumps that on the floor. He's just dumping milk all around the lunchroom. Pretty soon it's total chaos, and a kid slips and sprains his wrist. Then the janitor runs in and points at a kid.
It was him, right there.
What? He was pointing at Owen, this quiet kid that never did anything wrong. He just happened to be wearing a very similar black hoodie, but he was just sitting there eating his lunch. It wasn't him, but they pulled him out of the cafeteria. He went to the office, he had to call home. They told him he was facing a 10-day suspension and a possible disciplinary hearing in front of the school board. And other students tried to help. It wasn't him. Owen wouldn't do that. He was just eating his lunch. This is not fair. But the janitor said he was sure. Black hoodie, same build. It was him. I'm positive. It took 3 days for the school to finally pull the security footage. And it wasn't Owen. They saw the real kid do this and run out the side door. And in the footage, there was Owen, sitting there, eating his lunch, peacefully. And the school dropped everything. No hearing, no suspension. They apologized, but Owen never forgot what he went through. And he hates that school to this day. Yeah, I would too. Bro, the water fountain smells like a dead animal. Let me see. One time at this one middle school, the janitor was deep cleaning the cafeteria, and I guess he found a dead goldfish, like a full-on carnival prize goldfish floating in the mop bucket. Nobody knows how it got there, and for some reason, I'm not making this up, he shoves the goldfish down the drain of the water fountain. Like, just shoves it, jams it in there, and he just leaves it. And the next day, the water fountain starts spraying water that smells, fishy. Smells horrible. Kids are gagging in the hallways. Teachers are covering their mouths walking to class. Yo, what does that smell? The admin of the school think it's a sewage pipe that burst. They call the county. They have someone come out. They shut down half the school by lunchtime. Meanwhile, one 6th grader starts taking empty water bottles and is bottling the water of this fishy fountain. And he starts selling it for $1 a bottle. He's calling it limited edition bottled school water. And kids are buying it just to dare each other to drink it. It was wild. He only made like $10, but still, you gotta respect the hustle on that, I guess. Anyway, they eventually decided to replace every single water fountain in that school. And after some investigating, they found a mushy, nasty, dead goldfish. And they had no idea what happened for the longest time, until one day that janitor confessed. That's the craziest story I've ever heard. In 7th grade, this kid realized that Pokemon cards were frickin' currency. His older brother handed him a shoebox full one day. Hey bro, you can have these. Hey, thanks Johnny. And they were great cards. There was EXs, GXs, full arts, super rare cards in there. And at first he brought them to school to show them off. But then someone offered him $15 for that one. Okay, thanks, here you go. And that's when it clicked. He built out a binder, he set prices for specific cards, and he started dropping little hints around the hallways. This full art right here is only available today at lunch. After that, it's off the table forever. And that created urgency, because kids were like, oh my gosh, I want that card, I can only get it today. And suddenly, kids were lining up by his lunch table. It was kind of epic. He would also sell in the hallways, in the bathrooms. Between periods, it was just him. He didn't have a business partner. And teachers were seeing this like, oh, how cute. He's making a little pocket change selling his cute little cards. But no. By the end of that year, he pulled in more than $3,400. And that is a business mindset. You gotta respect the hustle. This teacher was so strict for no reason. Her class was the only class in school that had this rule. No backpacks at your desks ever. They stay in your locker. Backpacks couldn't be under your chairs, couldn't be under your desks, couldn't be leaning against the wall. And if you forgot something, too bad. No trips to your locker, no borrowing stuff from other students. She wouldn't even lend kids a pencil if they needed it. Miss, can I have a pencil? If you forgot your supplies, that meant a 0 for the day. Well, kids usually messed up. Some kids forgot their notebooks, some forgot their papers, pencils. It was a thing, and they were getting 0s. And she wouldn't even bend a little. You know the rule. Well, one day the class decides to coordinate. Every single student in that class on this particular day went in with nothing. No notebooks, no pencils, no pens, no papers, nothing. They were there just themselves. They sit down, they fold their hands in front of them, and they just stare ahead. The teacher looks confused. Then she starts handing out the worksheets for the day. No one moves. Why is nobody writing? We all forgot everything today, Mrs. Cabinet. If we had our backpacks, maybe we'd have our stuff. Oh, well, you all know the rule. The entire class gets a 0 for that day. The next day, they do the same thing, and they get a 0 again. The third day in a row, the class is sticking to their guns. They're all showing up with nothing. They get a 0 again. Parents start calling, asking why their students' grades are tanking. The principal sits in one day and figures out what's going on. The students were then allowed to bring their backpacks to class. The frickin' protest worked. And those 0s got erased from the gradebook. Their grades were back to normal. That's right. They're going on a family trip, and their flight is at 5 in the morning. That's so early, Dad. It's just for 3 days. Pack your backpack. You'll be fine. Backpack. He nods. He packs his backpack. His parents don't check it. They assume he's got it. Well, fast forward to the next morning. They're standing in the security line. Shoes off, laptops out. The dad's stressing. I'm stressing. The kid steps up to put his backpack in the conveyor belt, and he tells the security guy, there's a surprise in there. The guy's like, excuse me? There's a surprise in there for everybody. Hey, yo, what? At this point, the security guard's like, yo, what the heck does this kid have in his backpack? They pull the kid to the side. They pull the backpack away. The mom is like, oh my God, what did you pack in there? You'll see. Security guard unzips the backpack. His face changes. Son, what did you pack? You, come here. Okay. What the heck is this? Inside the backpack was dozens and dozens of rubber duckies. Tiny, bright yellow, each one wearing a different outfit. Sir, ma'am, your child packed about 200 rubber ducks. You can have one. So can your friend. Everybody can have one. Everybody around starts laughing, and the kid passes out these rubber duckies to as many people as he can. And honestly, that is super wholesome. It's the end of the semester. Grades are locked except for one final group project. Well, this kid named Brian is already failing the class. Even if he gets an A on this project, he's still done. Nothing matters. Well, his teammates on this group project, he overhears them talking. If I get a B on this project, I pass the class. Same, I can't fail this. The night before the presentation, Ryan's in his room and he's on his laptop. He goes to the Google Docs and the Google presentation and he deletes everything. Yeah. The next morning in class, it's a nightmare. Okay, Kayla, Kyle, and Ryan's group. You're next. I don't know what happened. It's not here anymore? Wait, let me see. It's all blank. What happened? Oh, that's so weird. Well, did you have backups? No, you know how strict I was about this. You all get a 0. My mom's gonna kill me. The group mates and the teacher later found out what happened, and Ryan was suspended and he failed. And the other two were able to redo the project and pass. So there's that. This is messed up. So there was this kid named Owen, always polite, quiet, but he was always reminding the class of his peanut allergy. I have a peanut allergy. And the teacher backed him up every time. And guys, remember, no peanuts in class, please. Thank you. But one kid, Tyler, got sick of hearing it. I'm so sick of hearing this. And he swore Owen was faking this entire thing because he wanted attention. So on a random day, Tyler brought candy for everybody. And he made a big show of it. Don't worry guys, they're regular M&Ms. Totally safe, Owen, I promise. But they weren't. They were peanut M&Ms. He gave one to Owen, and he ate it. Wait a minute. Everybody was laughing, and Tyler was getting ready to prove that Owen was faking it this entire time, but that's not what happened. Nothing's gonna happen, guys. He's been faking this. Oh, Owen. He begins choking, wheezing, and then he falls out of his chair. The teacher called 911, and Owen was taken to the hospital. And Tyler got suspended for weeks. Yeah, that's messed up. They plotted this for weeks. For about 2 weeks, this small group of students would take the lunchroom food and shove it in their backpacks to save for later. You know, mashed potatoes, hot dogs, milk cartons, pizza, chicken tenders, you know. They would bring it home and put it in the fridge. They're stockpiling cafeteria food. Then, one night, they broke into the school. They snuck into the principal's office, and one by one, they swapped everything out on her desk. But they were swapping her stuff out with the cafeteria food that they had been saving. They took her stapler and replaced it with a scoop of mashed potatoes. Her landline phone they replaced with 5 hot dogs. They filled her coffee mug with shredded chicken, and they replaced all of her pens with straws. All the leftover food they put on her desk chair. The next morning, the principal stared at this all in disbelief.
What in God's name happened in here?
And it was as easy as checking the security cameras. Those kids were caught almost immediately, but still, that's actually kind of hilarious. This is absolutely crazy. So there's this one freshman in high school, and his parents are out of town for the week. Well, instead of playing Xbox every day after school, he does something absolutely insane. He builds an actual wrestling ring in his backyard. I'm talking wood frame, ropes, the whole thing. And at school, he starts telling people, every day after school, my house, wrestling matches, $2 to get in. And for the first few days after school, it's just a couple of kids messing around. But then it started getting serious. One kid begins managing fighters and training them. Another's making poster for the big fight on Friday. People are putting money down. They're making actual bets. And these fighters are training all week. Well, by Thursday and Friday, it's not just this backyard thing anymore. Half the school is showing up. There's bets being placed, referees with whistles. It's absolutely insane. Well, finally Friday is the big fight, and it is beautiful. Until this kid's dad comes home and sees what's going on.
What the heck is going on here? Oh my God!
And the whole thing was shut down instantly. But those who went to that school never forgot the week of backyard wrestling. That's kind of crazy. It's a big family birthday party. All the cousins are the same age, around middle school. There's cake everywhere, balloons, pizza crusts on the couch. By 8 p.m., the party's over. The adults are done. One of the aunts says, all right, kids, that's a party. Nobody's leaving till we all help clean up. One cousin says, no, I'm not cleaning this. I gotta go home, man. I mean, I don't want to clean it either, but what do we do? I have an idea. That cousin then just drops to the ground. Full body collapse, right on the floor, and everyone's screaming, oh my God, Corey, wake up! The kid's not moving at all. One of the cousins is like, okay, bro, joke's over, stop. But Corey is just committing to this. His eyes are closed, he's limp, he's silent, while people are shaking him. Come on, Corey, get up, get up. What he didn't know was one of his uncles was in the kitchen and called 911. So now, paramedics burst into the house. Where is he? That's when he's like, I'm better now. Everybody explodes. The parents are furious. The cousins are like, bro, that was way too far. He's grounded for months. The ambulance leaves, and now all the cousins are forced to clean up double time. They didn't just have to clean up from the party. They had to now clean all the bathrooms and rake the yard. It was insane. So his little bit to get him out of cleaning made things 10 times worse. There was this kid in middle school who was so fast at taking tests. He would always finish before everybody else. Done. Math test, first one done. History quiz, sped through it. One day it was a Scantron test, and he finishes it in less than 10 minutes. It then gets graded, and the teacher comes over. Hey, you, nobody finishes a 60-question test in under 10 minutes. You cheated. I did not. The class is quiet. The two of them argue for a long time. The principal gets involved, and finally, fine, you know what? You stay after school, we're taking this test. Just you, me, and the principal in the same room. And what she does is she switches the answers on the Scantron, so it's different now. Well, after school, he sits down, he gets a different version of this test, and he goes. In 7 minutes, he's done. The Done. Grades it on the spot. Another 100%. But this isn't possible. Mrs. Johnson, I think he's just really smart. You're good to go home, buddy. The teacher doesn't even apologize, but she never accused him of stuff ever again. And even though she saw it with her own eyes, for the rest of the year, she still never fully trusted him. He's just a genius. No snack, no participation points. But it's my birthday. This one teacher at this one school made a new rule. If your birthday falls on a school day, you have to bring a snack for the entire class. No exceptions. It didn't matter if your family couldn't afford it. It didn't matter if you forgot. If you didn't bring snacks, you would get your participation points docked for the whole week. And the teacher would call you out in front of everybody. So this one kid, Tyler, it's his birthday and it's a Tuesday. He doesn't bring anything. And the teacher just lights him up. Oh, no snacks for your friends, huh, Tyler? How selfish are you? The whole class is just staring at him. Tyler is just sitting there. I didn't even ask to be born. 2 days later, it's this girl Chloe's birthday. She felt bad for Tyler. And she came in that day and she followed the rules. Technically. She walks in with a sandwich bag full of Tic Tacs. 1 Tic Tac for each kid, individually handed out. For my beloved classmates, I brought you all a snack. Enjoy the feast. Class is dying. People are clapping. Teacher's trying to hold it together, but you can see the vein popping in her face. Okay, I see. You're making fun of me. You think this is a joke. It's okay. The whole class just starts mocking this teacher and the rule and praising Chloe for this hilarious kind of stunt she pulled. The teacher just snaps. Fine. You know what? Birthday snacks are canceled. Forgive me for trying to make everyone's birthday a fun time. I honestly can't believe you guys. Get over it. What a wild thing for a teacher to do. It's their birthday, yet they're getting in trouble if they don't bring snacks in. Get out of my face. So it's this kid's birthday party. And his mom lets her sister, his aunt, make the cake since she's a baker. Well, everyone gathers around and the aunt brings out the cake. Well, the lid comes off and it says, "Happy birthday, Kyle and Jason." Kyle's the birthday kid. Jason isn't. Jason is his aunt's son, his cousin. The mom's like, "Are you serious? Why is your kid's name on my son's cake?" And the aunt shrugs. "It's fine. They can share. They can blow out the candles together." Absolutely not. This is his birthday, not your son's. So what happened was Kyle's cousin Jason was incredibly spoiled, and he couldn't stand to be at another kid's birthday party. He had to make it about him as well. Well, the two sisters start arguing in front of the entire party, and everybody is incredibly uncomfortable. It looks like they're about to start throwing hands, when finally Kyle's mom says, "You know what? Take your cake and your spoiled kid and leave my frickin' house." The aunt storms out with the cake, and 10 minutes later, the dad comes in with a cake from Walmart, and the birthday party was saved. But the mom still hasn't talked to her sister since then. For real though, who would think that's okay? So it was senior prank season, and this one might have been the most beautiful senior prank this school has ever seen. It's the last week of school, and the seniors show up. They've got a ladder, a few backpacks, and they're carrying bags upon bags of something. How much you get? 30 pounds. You're kidding. Nope. 30 pounds of confetti. They sneak into the assembly hall, where the school organ is. Now, the school was about to have an assembly, and for some reason at every single assembly, the music teacher plays the organ. Now, it's a giant old organ with these large pipes, and these pipes stretch up to the ceiling. With the ladder set up, they climb up, and they start pouring confetti straight down each of the organ's pipes. And not just a little confetti. Pounds of it, until pretty much every pipe is stuffed. Well, only one teacher is in on it, and that's the music teacher. He gave them the green light because that old organ was being thrown out anyway. But nobody else knows about this, okay? So, 2 hours later, the whole school is crammed in for this assembly. The principal gives his speech, and then the organist starts playing. Whoosh! A cloud of confetti blasts into the air like fireworks while this beautiful organ music is playing. With each note, another explosion of confetti goes off. And now it's like a blizzard. Students are cheering. They're trying to catch it. It's beautiful! But the teachers are really confused. Oh my god, what's happening? What's happening? The principal's standing there looking around like the ceiling just collapsed. Meanwhile, the music teacher is just calmly playing the organ while this crazy storm is happening. It's a beautiful sight. By the end, the floor is covered in confetti, the seats are all buried, and the seniors are just looking around like, wow, we did that. And that was it. That organ never played another note, but that prank went down in school history. Where did he get all this stuff? I don't know, but it's beautiful. So sophomore year of high school, this one kid puts a bin outside the cafeteria. Taped to the side, it says, "Unofficial lost and found." Nobody thinks much of it, and people start using it. A water bottle here, a hoodie there, stuff just starts showing up in the bin. And every day, it's empty again. Clean, wiped out. No one knows where the stuff from the previous day went. And no one asked. At first, people think he's just bringing it to the office. Even the teachers were like, "Oh, that's so nice of him. He's helping out the school staff. Here, I found this shoe." But he never actually confirms what he's doing with the stuff. He even moves the bin around. Some days he's outside the library with it. Other days he's by the gym. Sometimes he's spotted walking the hallway alone, picking stuff up like he's actively looking for lost items. And this goes on for 2 years. So, senior year, the last day of school. It's pretty relaxed. People were just wandering the schools. Easy day, it's the last day. Well, there's a paper sign taped to the gym doors. The sign said, "The Hall of the Misplaced." People walk in, they're curious. What is this place? Oh my god. This kid turned the gym into a full-blown museum. Tables, spotlights, handwritten labels, all of the missing stuff displayed. He made sections. The wall of gloves, the charger graveyard. The fact that this dude's been pulling this off for 2 years is insane. At 3:45 that day, he packed up everything and left with the stuff. He didn't even give it back to the people that wanted it back. After he walked out, he was gone. And he didn't even show up to graduation. Honestly, that dude's a legend.
You canceled my birthday party? For a B+?
Actions have consequences. So this one student got a B+ in math. Not too bad, right? Well, not according to his dad. The dad walks into the room holding the kid's report card. A B+? Are you kidding me? Dad, it's still above average. It's a really hard class. Well, it's not good enough. Give me your phone, now.
Wait, what?
No phone, and I'm canceling your birthday dinner. Yo, are you serious? Dead serious. The next morning, the dad emails the teacher, saying stuff like, "Why didn't you push my child harder? He's clearly capable of more. You're supposed to challenge him, not let him slack off." The teacher writes back, "Your son has the highest grade in class. He's the only one that got above a B. I'm actually very proud of him." His dad is crazy. The kid finds out about this email. He walks up to his dad and says, "So, can I have my phone back now and maybe my birthday?" The dad just stares at him and walks away. Happy birthday to me, I guess. I'm not here to teach. I'm here to keep order. Shut your mouth. There's this substitute, middle school, real power tripping type of guy. Clipboard in one hand, whistle around his neck, looking like he's coaching for the NBA. He walks into class, first thing he says, "Listen up, I'm not here to be your friend, I'm here to keep order." The whole class side-eyes each other, like, who does this guy think he is? 15 minutes in, he's handing out detentions like he's Oprah. "You, detention for talking. You, detention for looking out the window, no daydreaming in this class. You, why are you breathing so funny? You making fun of me? Detention." Kid in the back, let's call him Devin, finally speaks up. "Sir, you're here for 45 minutes. Chill. You better watch your tone, young man." Devin leans back in his chair, smiles, and says, "Bro, you're a spirit Halloween manager with a clipboard. Relax." Ooh, yo. The sub's just standing there frozen, clipboard shaking in his hand. Principal hears the chaos and he walks in. Sees the sub standing there red-faced. The sub then starts tearing up and runs out of the classroom. The principal had to finish the class. "Okay, what'd you guys say to him?" "Wasn't even that bad, dude. Bro's just sensitive." Alright, fine. Just open your books. Let's finish the class. The sub never came back to that school. Absolute KO. This is so freaking cool. So it was fall, and a couple kids, they decide to make a backyard carnival. Obviously, it was nothing official. Just some old toys, a plastic table, and whatever junk they could find. One kid stacked some soup cans on a chair. Knock them down, you win a prize. The other kid taped a bucket to the fence. 3 throws for 1 quarter. But then they got creative. Somebody dragged over a busted wagon and tied it to a bike. And suddenly it was a roller coaster. "You ready, bro? Get in."
I'm in, man. Let's go.
"All right." This is awesome. Another kid tied a tire to a tree branch. And there you had it, a swing. They did it just for them at first, like a fun way to spend the afternoon. But then kids from the block started to show up. Yo, what is this? It's a carnival, bro. Come on. By the end of the day, the entire backyard was packed, and a ton of kids from the neighborhood were bringing their own stuff over. It was insane. Candy, prizes, homemade rides. Parents were even showing up. Like, what the heck is happening back here? But they loved it. They thought it was super creative. It wasn't professional. It wasn't safe. But for that one day, that backyard was a freaking carnival, baby. And that's awesome. Did they ever find out who did it? Nope. And it drove him insane. So there's this one principal. Old school. Super strict. Hates nonsense, hates funny business, he's got zero chill. Well, one day he walks into his office and there's a single crouton sitting on his desk. Dead center. No note, no explanation, just sitting there. He doesn't think too much of it, so he tosses it in the garbage. The next day, another one. Same spot, still no message. Day after that, again. He starts asking around. Alright, who's messing with me? Huh? Who's the crouton person? Huh? No one knows. So he checks the cameras, but there's no camera inside his office, just the hallway outside of the door. In that hallway, there's tons of kids coming in and out of the office all day. Teachers, office aides, too many faces, there's no way to tell who left it in there. So he tries to stop it. He begins locking the door when he's not there. He still gets a crouton. He moves his desk, still gets a crouton. He leaves a sticky note. Whoever this is, please stop. The next day, a new crouton, sitting on a napkin that says, respectfully. This goes on for months and he never figures it out. Never gets an answer and never catches this crouton person. And then one day, it just stops. Nothing. The desk stays empty. No note, no crumb, no crouton. He retires the next year, but the day he left that job, he put a framed photo on the wall of the crouton sitting on a napkin, and below it, it said, unsolved. That picture is still hanging in that office to this day. No one has ever got 100% in my class. Oh yeah? Watch this. So there's this teacher that every single day brags that no one has ever got 100% in my class. My tests are just too hard. You know, and everyone just kind of tunes her out. But this one kid, let's call him Chris. Chris studies like crazy. He wants to prove her wrong, takes every quiz, takes every chance for extra credit. Final exams come, and he's locked in. He's done, turns it in, he's feeling very confident. The next day, the teacher passes out the exams. 98%? Damn, you did good. Almost too good. Were you cheating? I'm just kidding. My tests are hard. No, I mean I should have got 100%. Okay, settle down. All right? I'm serious. Pull out the answer key. See? Look, right there. Wrong and wrong. Chris looks at the two questions she marked wrong. Then he looks at her key. One of them is a trick question. The other answer on her key is just flat out wrong. My answer is right, miss. Your key's wrong. No, it's not. That's absolutely impossible. Chris grabs a textbook off her desk. Flips open to the exact page he needs. Slaps it down. Right there. Paragraph 3. She leans over and reads it. Chris just smiles. So do I get my 100 or do you need me to grade the rest of the class as well? She doesn't say a word. She just crosses off the 98% and quickly scribbles 100% on his test. After that day, she never bragged about her tests being hard ever again. Wait, are we friends or am I just your study guide? What? So this girl's like super smart. She's always making group projects super easy. She shares her notes, she always helps her friends study, and she doesn't complain. But one day she noticed something. Nobody texts her unless it's about school. Nobody invites her to anything, nobody asks her how she's doing. Just stuff like, hey, what's the answer to number 4? Can you send me the notes, please? Hey, do you have the homework from yesterday? But then she realized the group chat she's in with all her friends, they only ever talk about the homework. And she finds out that there's a separate group chat that she's not even in. She didn't even get invited to Kayla's birthday party. The next day at lunch, she sits down with her group of friends. She looks them all in the eye and she says, quick question, who here knows my birthday? Or my mom's name? Or my dog's name? Or my middle name? Dead silence. One girl mumbles, isn't your birthday like December 25th? That's Christmas Day. And no. Oh, I love Christmas. The girl then stands up and says, well, you guys can figure out your own homework answers, study help on your own, okay? I'm out and I am done with all of you. Fine, we don't need you. Except they definitely did. After that day, they kept blowing up her phone when they needed homework or test help, and she just ignored it. Screw those friends. She made a new group of friends that actually appreciates her for who she is. Good morning, this is Channel 3 School News with your top story. At approximately 9:08 a.m. yesterday, a 6th grade student constructed a fully functional toll booth in the main hallway, using nothing but masking tape, a clipboard, and what seemed to be a strong sense of purpose. Eyewitnesses state the student was wearing sunglasses and would stand there with his hand out, calmly stating, That's $1 to pass, exact change only. Over the next 12 minutes, multiple students complied. One teacher walked through without paying, and she was booed. It's just, what makes you so special? We're all paying the toll, so should you. So we booed her. By 9:20 a.m., this student had collected $28 in singles and exact change. He offered receipts, he stamped hands. He told students premium passes were coming soon. When asked why he was doing this, this was his reply. It's a good idea, right? I just came up with it. I thought there's no way I'm going to get away with this. But I did. As the morning went on, the hallway bottlenecked. The late bell rang. Chaos was beginning to ensue. By 9:26 a.m., administration intervened. The toll booth was dismantled. The tape was peeled and the clipboard was seized. When asked if he had any other things planned in the near future, he responded, "Oh, just you wait." And back to you. So this school was doing Spirit Week. Pajama Day, Wacky Wednesday, stuff like that. Well, on Wacky Wednesday, this one kid showed up in a full suit of armor. Boots, gloves, gauntlets, the whole thing, 3 layers, night helmet. It was epic. And the school let him keep it on. Well, after second period, these 3 8th graders, who were the school bullies, decided to make fun of him. "Hey, nice outfit, Tin Man. What you got under there?"
Yeah, nice outfit, metal boy.
Well, he's just standing there, not saying a word. The bullies didn't like this, so they start to attack him. "What's your problem, dude?" "Yeah, what's your problem?"
My foot.
One punches his shoulder, his hand is shaking, it might be broken. Some kid kicks him in the groin, his foot is hurting. And the third one, big guy, punches his knee and literally breaks his wrist.
Ow!
You're my foot! My foot! My wrist, guys? Guys, my wrist. It's broken. It's broken. Principal shows up and calls it a school fight. The kid in the armor gets suspended for a week, even though he did not touch any of them. He literally just stood there in his knight armor that the school let him wear. And the bullies, they didn't get in trouble at all. And that, my friends, is messed up. At this one school, there was a day called the Polar Express Day. It's where the elementary kids would wear their pajamas to school, they would watch Polar Express at the end of the day, and then the buses would take them home. It's everybody's favorite day. Everyone's all cozy, there's snacks. Polar Express is an awesome movie. Well, this one year, during the movie, nobody noticed that the snow was coming down, and it was piling up outside. All right, kids, movie's over. Let's open the blinds and... Oh.
It's snowing.
And it was snowing a lot. Well, school's over, and the buses are delayed. It takes about 30 minutes for these buses to show up to the school. Well, this group of kids gets on their bus, but it wasn't their normal bus driver. It was a substitute bus driver. And the problem is, for some reason, this bus driver had no idea where he was going.
I think this is the right neighborhood, right? No! Where are you taking us?
The bus driver didn't know what to do, so he stopped at a freaking gas station. Okay, guys, I'm just gonna pull over here for a second.
There's a man at my window.
Hey, kid, want a free animal?
What?
Then they stop at a random parking lot. One kid has to call his parents so they can give him directions.
Mom, we're lost. Talk to the bus driver. Hi.
The mom tries to give him directions. Didn't really work that well. So he drives the bus with all the kids in it back to the bus depot.
Carl, what? I need you to take these kids home, man. I have no idea what I'm doing.
What do you mean?
There's still kids in that bus. Help us.
So they switch bus drivers, and this bus driver gets them home safely. But by that time, it was around 7 p.m. That's a crazy day.
Bro, say something.
You won't, and that's the scary part. So there's this one kid, real quiet. Doesn't talk much in class, doesn't have a crew. Just walks through the day, hoodie up, backpack on, he keeps to himself. And for whatever reason, this other kid keeps trying to start stuff with him. It starts with little jabs, locker shoves, shoulder checks in the hallway. This guy's trying to get a rise out of the quiet kid. But the quiet kid, he never reacts. He never looks mad, he's just always silent. And that keeps making this dude even angrier. He starts saying stuff loudly in the lunchroom. Yo, hoodie kid thinks he's better than everyone. See, he's too scared to speak. There's a whole week of build-up. People start whispering, yo, a fight's happening on Friday. Between who? That big guy Jeff and that kid who never talks. Oh, here we go. And then Friday, passing period, a crowd forms in the hallway. Phones out, everybody's waiting. The loud kids are ready in the circle and he's yelling. And the quiet kid, he just walks in. No expression, no talking, he just drops his backpack on the floor. Oh, you're showing up now, huh? You scared? You scared, man? Quiet kid says nothing. Say something, bro! Still nothing. So the loud kid swings. He misses. And the quiet kid, 1 move. 2 moves. It's over. He picks up his backpack and he walks away. By 7th period, people are calling him Silent Mike. The next day, Silent Mike doesn't talk unless it's important. He once got bumped in the hallway and didn't blink. He never even messed up his hoodie. One teacher goes, "Wait, who's Mike?" The Silent Mike nickname didn't really make sense because kid's real name is Darren. All right, students, dodgeball. 3, 2, 1, go. It was gym class and the kids were playing dodgeball, so like a major W. Well, this kid, Jay, was playing just like everybody else. 2 groups were lined up on each side of the gym, and the dodgeballs were right on the middle line. 3, 2, 1, go. And they all run for the dodgeballs and then step back, and people begin throwing them. Well, Jay grabbed one and he launched it. But it accidentally smacked this girl in the face. I mean, that's the game, right? Dodgeball. You try to hit people, then they're out. Well, this girl was kind of one of the popular girls. She was also super dramatic. Well, she starts crying. And the gym teacher runs over. "Oh my God, are you okay? No, go sit down. Jay, come here." "What? Are you kidding me? You're out of line." "What do you mean? We're literally playing dodgeball." "Office, now." So he goes to the office, and he gets written up. People started whispering that Jay hit a girl. He tried to explain, but nobody cared. "No, guys, we were playing dodgeball. That's what we're supposed to do." And he became that kid, and he never played dodgeball again. But guys, that makes no frickin' sense. That's what you do, right? That's dodgeball. I don't know. That's nuts. It's 1 a.m. at Ryan's birthday sleepover. I'm Ryan. Pizza boxes everywhere, video games on the TV, and then Ryan falls asleep. "Hey, yo, birthday boy fell asleep first. Do we have to mess with him?" And so they did. One kid grabs a permanent marker and begins drawing stuff on his face. No. Another kid takes the entire bag of Cheetos and begins dumping it on his chest and putting Cheetos in his pockets. Cheetos here, some Cheetos there, mountain of Cheetos right here, Cheetos in your pocket. Nice. Then one kid takes a raw hot dog out of the fridge and puts it in his ear. "Yeah, hot dog." And that's what woke him up. What's going on? Why am I covered in Cheetos? Don't look in the mirror. What do you mean? But the thing is, Ryan didn't see this as some sort of lighthearted prank. He saw red and began freaking the absolute heck out. "You guys are dead." He begins throwing stuff all around the basement. Plates are shattering, windows broken. He takes the tiniest kid there, named Jensen. "I'm Jensen." Picks him up and throws him at the flat screen TV. Jensen's fine. He's got a couple bruises, but the TV is destroyed, and pretty much so is the entire basement. His parents then wake up, come downstairs to see what's going on, and they freak out as well. They send everybody home, and Ryan was grounded for a month. Does he, ever talk? Nah, not once. All year. So this new kid transfers to the school halfway through the year. Middle school. Kinda tall, quiet, doesn't talk to anybody. At first, people think, well, maybe he's just shy. But then weeks go by, and nothing. Not a word. No volunteering, no answering questions, not even a here during roll call. He does every assignment, he scores high on tests, but still, not a single word. No, it gets to the point where people just stop trying. He's the quiet kid, and that's it. Then one day, it's May. There's a sub in math class. She goes down the roll sheet, gets to his name. Evan. And for the first time all year, he goes, "Here." The whole room freezes. Did he just... Yep. Out of his... And that's when his cousin, who's been in the same class the entire time, pulls out a crumpled $50 bill out of his backpack and hands it to this kid. Turns out, back in January, they made a deal. Alright, so you're transferring to my school after the holidays. I bet you can't go the rest of the year without saying a word. Well, I bet you I can. They made a frickin' bet. If he had lost the bet, he would have had to eat a raw onion. $50 and his cousin buys him a meal from Cane's. Good deal to me. Are you coming to gym class? Nah, man, I got court. Wait, what? This kid, 7th grade, shows up to school one day in a full-blown suit. Tie, dress shoes, everything. He's carrying a briefcase. Everyone's confused, and he just goes, I got court during gym class today. Turns out, this kid started a full-blown student court system. He printed a summons, he made a self-made courtroom in the corner of the library, and he even made a logo. Every charge was student-related. Chewing annoyingly with your mouth open, cutting the lunch line, stealing pencils, and you could plead guilty or go to trial. State your case. She skipped me in line. Do you have any witnesses? Yes, Your Honor, 5 of them. People start requesting trials for dumb stuff. The teachers hear about it, and they think it's absolutely hilarious. Until one day, this kid was messing around and tried to summon the principal to court. For what? For having a terrible haircut. Yeah, the principal didn't take this very well, and he obviously shut it down right then and there. In total, this kid held 17 court cases. I don't know what he got out of all this, but it's honestly genius. Hey, look, we got a sub. It was supposed to be an easy day. The regular teacher was out and the sub came in. And sure, a couple kids whispered during the lesson. One kid even tossed a paper airplane. But for the most part, the class wasn't bad at all. Well, the next morning, the regular teacher storms in. So, this is the note the sub left me, and I cannot believe you. Wait, what? The worst class I've ever seen. Total chaos. Students disrespectful, talking over instructions, disobeying, and disrespecting me. What? And the class erupts. Yo, that is not true at all. Yeah, this sub is lying. But the teacher slams the paper on the desk. I will not hear it. Every single one of you needs to have a 5-page paper written and turned in tomorrow on why what you did was wrong. And the class didn't really know what to do because they know they weren't that bad, but the teacher was just gonna believe the sub's note. And the sub definitely lied. Miss, how are we supposed to know when it's due? You just are, okay? This one teacher was brutal. She wouldn't post due dates for anything. She wouldn't write instructions. She would just say it once out loud and expect you to remember everything. And if you didn't hear it or you missed the information, that sounds like a you problem, doesn't it? One day she assigns a huge project. She explains it once, she talks fast, there's no visual, no handout. And this one kid, he raises his hand. Wait, how are we supposed to, Josh, were you listening? Yeah, but then why are you asking? No one knows when it's due, what it's supposed to look like. It's total confusion. One person thinks he remembers the due date, one person remembers it differently. It's a mess. And from that moment on, Josh decides he's going to record everything this teacher says every single day, without her knowing. 2 weeks later, half the class gets zeros on this other project. There's no excuse for this, you guys. I told you exactly how I wanted it. Josh raises his hand. Actually, you didn't. Excuse me? He takes out his phone, fiddles with his recordings for a second, and then he presses play. It was her whole explanation for this project. It was loud, it didn't make any sense, and she was mumbling for half of it. So basically it's going to go on a big piece of paper or, like one of those things, and then you're going to make sure that you get everything down from that one, the chapter, I think it was 9. Maybe it's 11, but put it all up. Hey, guys, quiet. All right, that's it. Let's move on. So are we all really getting zeros, or are you going to give us the instructions again? The next day, she handed out a printed rubric for that project, and she gave everyone a second chance to do it. And from that day forward, she always had printed out instructions for every single assignment and project. Yeah, as she should. So every day during class, she made her students sit in a circle, and they had to confess something they felt guilty about. It was called the guilt circle. She said it helped build trust, but it felt more like public humiliation. Every morning, right after the bell rang, one by one, share something you regret, something you're hiding, a dark secret. And if you really couldn't think of anything, she would say, that's fine, but you're going twice tomorrow. It would be stuff like, I ate my sister's Halloween candy. I cheated on a vocab quiz. But after a while, that wasn't good enough for her. She wanted them to go deeper. I spread a horrible rumor about my friend. I took money from my mom's purse. And she loved it. Oh, why do you think you did that? Do you think she knows? No. Day after day, week after week, this is how things went down. Until one day a kid stood up and said, you know what, Mrs. Keller? You should feel guilty. You make us say this stuff in front of you and all of our classmates, and then I bet you go laugh about it in the teacher's lounge. The whole room froze. She didn't say anything. And I guess that was all it took, because the next day, the guilt circle stopped. For real though, that is super messed up and completely unacceptable. The biggest, burliest guy finds a baby squirrel in his yard.
Oh my god, it's a baby squirrel.
This dude's an ex-trucker, built like a linebacker. He hears a tiny squeaking sound in the grass. Hey little guy, come with me. I'm bringing you inside. He takes the baby squirrel inside, and he begins to bottle feed it milk.
Yeah, drink up. It's good for you.
He carries this squirrel around in his shirt pocket, day after day, taking care of it, raising it. Well, one day he tries to release it back into the wild, where he thinks it belongs. Go on. I said go on. But the squirrel refuses to leave. Every time he sets the squirrel down, the squirrel crawls right back up and sits on his shoulder.
I guess you're staying with me.
So he keeps it. Meanwhile, this guy also has 4 Pomeranian dogs. So this entire time, the squirrel was raised with these dogs. At night, the squirrel sleeps in the dog pile. When people come over, the dogs all race to the door, but so does the squirrel.
Rufus, Spot, Marlowe, Steven. Oh, there he is, Nutty.
To this day, that squirrel is this guy's best friend. The dogs are too. But hey, that's amazing.
As your president, I will eat this banana.
So this kid, let's call him Luke. He's in 8th grade, 0 political ambition, and 0 cares about school elections. One day after gym, his friend is like, bro, you should run for class president. Why? I don't know, because nobody else is. Turns out, sign-ups were closing that day, and nobody else decided to run. So Luke being Luke, he goes to the front office and he puts his name down. The next day, the announcements come on. Class elections this Friday, we have Luke, just Luke is running for president. And everyone just starts clowning this whole situation. People are making campaign posters. Vote for Luke. Or don't. It doesn't matter. He'll still win. Or Luke 2024. Bare minimum effort. And he's leaning into it. He's wearing a wrinkled suit jacket to school. Making campaign videos of him eating Lunchables in silence. Well, finally election day hits. And obviously Luke is elected to be the class president. And there's a little assembly at the end of the day. Well, Luke walks up to give a victory speech. He walks up to the mic. He's holding a banana like it's a trophy, peels it halfway, and he just starts eating it into the mic. The whole cafeteria is losing it. Even the teachers are laughing. The principal's standing there, just trying to act like this is normal. Okay. And just like that, Luke is the official class president. He doesn't even know what his frickin' duties are. Well, the next week, the school council handed him a binder that said, School Student Government Responsibilities. And it was thick, like 3 inches thick. Meetings, proposals, school fundraiser events. Luke just looked at it, and that's when it hit him. He definitely made a massive mistake. This is everything. God.
Please, I'll eat anything else, just not this.
No, that is your tray, and that is your banana. Eat it. This kid goes to a small private school, the kind where everybody knows everybody, and lunch is always the same. Same trays, same rotations, and the same lunch aides watching over the room. Well, there was this one lunch aide, and for some reason, she did not like this kid at all. She never said it out loud, but you could tell. It was obvious. Other kids could toss their full milk away, leave veggies on their trays, just waste food, but him, for some reason, she watched his tray every single day, making sure he eats every last bit of food on the tray, which is absolutely insane in my opinion. Well, one day the school serves bananas, and this kid hates bananas. Can't stand the smell, he doesn't even like to touch them. He pushes the banana to the side and starts eating the rest of his food, hoping she wouldn't notice because he knows how she is. And here she comes. She stands right next to him and points to his tray. Eat the banana. I don't like bananas. Doesn't matter, you're not getting up till that tray is empty, young man. Can I give it to somebody else, please? No, it's your lunch. You eat what you were served. While everyone else finishes eating, the table clears out, lunch is over, and he's still sitting there, just staring at the banana. Eventually, he picks it up, takes one bite, and gags. He tries again, he gags again, and he throws up right there on the table. You're absolutely pathetic. Then she says this, go to class, and next time, don't make such a big scene. That lady is the worst. Alright boys, time to confess your sins. I just want to play Mario Kart. So one time, this kid got invited to a sleepover, and it was pretty normal until bedtime. At exactly 9 p.m., this mom walks into the kid's room with a clipboard, big smile, and she says, okay boys, time to log your sins for the day. This kid thought she was joking. No. She passes out worksheets to the 2 kids. The top of the page says daily sin accountability. Bro, what if I didn't sin today? Everybody sins every day. Just think of something. So they're sitting there. This kid's half asleep. His friend is writing very jubilantly, like this is a normal thing for him because it is. This mom does this to them every night. And he's there just trying to think of what's going on. So he's writing stuff like, took the last Pop-Tart, thought about punching Gavin today, laughed when Gavin fell off the couch. It was a full confession session and the mom was taking notes. And if you forgot something, she would help you. Did you think anything bad today at all?
I am right now.
What? Nothing? They weren't allowed to go to bed until the mom was convinced that they had every sin accounted for. The next morning, he woke up and he noticed that the mom had put their sins on the fridge, like a leaderboard. He never went to that house ever again. And honestly, I wouldn't either. That's freaking creepy. This kid got suspended for selling pencil insurance. So this kid, right? He's kind of smart, he's kind of funny. He definitely knows how to game the system. He notices that every day in every class, someone, every single day, asks to borrow a pencil. So he starts offering a deal. $1 pencil insurance covers you for the entire week. If you lose your pencil, boom, he'll replace it. Need an eraser? You're covered, he's got you. It's actually a good deal. It's way cheaper than buying a full pack at the store. And it absolutely blows up. By Thursday of that week, 15 kids are covered on this pencil insurance. He starts giving out policy numbers. He makes sure that he has one of his insurance agents in every classroom that has an insured client. Carries around a binder, he has terms and conditions. One teacher sees all this and says, "Hey, you can't run a business in class. It's not a business, sir. It's insurance." The next week, he starts offering platinum packages. $3 a week gets you mechanical pencils. $5 a week gets you 2 pencils every time you lose or break 1. That's when the admin gets involved. "Are you selling items on school property?" "No, sir, I'm providing peace of mind." They then suspend him for unauthorized commerce. But on his way out of the building, he sees one of his clients. He says to him, "If you need pencils while I'm gone, talk to my cousin. Spread the word." And his cousin, who did go to that same school, took over for him in his absence. That's absolutely awesome. This school library charged 50 cents per page to print. This is freaking highway robbery. Students were furious, but the school did not back down. That's when one student decided to act on this. He bought a high-speed wireless printer, shoved it in his backpack, and he set up shop at the back of the library during his free period. He created a burner email address and he told everybody, "Email me your essays or whatever you want to print. It's 10 cents per page. No questions asked." And business was absolutely booming. Word spread pretty quick, and his email was stocked. And he printed out every single order that came in. He was undercutting the school by 80%. He was making decent cash. He was like the frickin' Wolf of Wall Street in a library. Eventually, the librarians caught on, and they tried to suspend him, actually. But he just said, "If you suspend me, I'll make a huge deal about you guys charging 50 cents per page, and I'll take it to the frickin' news." Well, they kind of panicked, and they lowered the prices back to 10 cents per page. But that kid, what a legend. Did you just laugh? Yeah. You need to follow the rules. So this kid gets invited to his friend's house after school. It's his first time ever hanging out outside of class with this person. He gets there, it seems normal, parents seem chill, the living room smells like candles and soup. They all sit down to watch a movie, totally normal. About 10 minutes in, a funny scene happens, like genuinely funny.
Oh, you smell like my dad.
That's when the friend's mom pauses the movie. She turns to him and she goes, "Excuse me, did you ask me if it was okay to laugh?" The kid kind of sits there blinking. He thinks she's joking. She's not. "I know this is your first time here, so I'll let it slide, but in this house, we don't laugh until someone gives permission. Okay?" He looks at his friend and his friend just nods. The mom adds this: "It just saves us from getting carried away. Laughter leads to chaos." Let's watch the movie. So they just keep watching, and anytime something funny happens, he sits there dead silent, while his friend casually goes, "Requesting laugh? Approved." After that day, he never went back to that friend's house ever again. It's the first week of school, and this kid's rocking some brand new expensive Nikes. Hey yo, peep the kicks. Ooh, those are clean, bro. Yeah, they remind me of my mom. Then in the middle of class, the fire alarm goes off. Oh, alright. And everyone crams into the hallway. Excuse me, excuse me. Well, as he's making his way out, a student behind him steps on his right shoe, and his shoe comes off. Yo, wait, my shoe! Keep it moving. He gets outside and he's standing there with only one shoe on. Every grade is lined up. He's begging him to go back in. No, you don't understand. My other shoe is inside, and those were expensive. Are you nuts? No, forget it. Eventually, they're all let back inside, and he's looking everywhere. He can't find his shoe. It's like it's just gone. And at lunch, he's sitting there, and here's where it gets interesting. I guess some kid saw that the shoe had fallen off and took it put it in his backpack. You see, they took a picture of the shoe, put it on a document, and typed, "If you ever want to see your shoe again, it's $45. And as he's sitting at lunch, someone in a hoodie slips him this note. Man. Now it's a full-blown shoe hostage situation. There was a random email on the flyer, and he emailed it. The kidnapper set up a spot, told him to drop the money, and they would drop the shoe. And he paid the $45. But hey, he got his shoe back. That's actually crazy. This is messed up, so a group of friends were invited to their classmate's house. "Guys, dinner at my house tonight, be there." And this kid's parents were there. They're polite, they're well-spoken, just good people. For dinner, they eat homemade pasta. They're laughing about classes, midterms, teachers. A normal, fun night. When dinner is over, everybody offers to help. "Yo, let me help clean the table off, guys." "Yeah, I can do dishes too." But the friend's like, "No, don't. My parents will do it. Don't worry about it." They just laugh. But then they're like, wait, is he serious? His parents start doing the dishes, cleaning off the entire table, while their kid is just flipping through his phone. Later on, they move to the living room. They're all just chatting. The dad comes in and begins talking to one of the other kids. "So you work in foreign policy?" "Yeah, and then on my free time I do a lot of traveling. I have an art studio in my garage. Dude, you are so cool." This kid's having a great conversation with his friend's dad. Then, out of nowhere, this friend says, "Come on, Dad, shut up. Nobody cares about your boring job crap. Please leave." The whole room freezes, like, what is going on? The dad's face drops, and then he says, "Hey, come on, man. Don't talk to me like that in front of your friends. It's disrespectful. Go away." After that, nobody talks. His friends just grab their stuff and they begin walking out the door. "Hey, where are you guys going?" "We're leaving, man. Your parents are great. This whole thing is just weird." "Fine, leave." And on the ride home, all they can talk about was how disrespectful this kid is, and nobody ever hung out with him ever again. One of my videos changed this kid's life. I don't know about all that, but it actually inspired him, he said. So he watched one of my stories about one of these businesses that kids ran in their school, and that's when it hit him. You know what? I could run a hustle too. And he did. He started small with gum and stickers. That week he made $90. His next move, he sold Venom energy drinks. And in just 2 weeks, he made $200. And these wins just kept building his confidence. After that, he had decided he was gonna step up a lot. He was gonna make his own website and sell his own streetwear clothing brand. He called it Hype District, and he actually has a website. If you want to check it out, just Google Hype District Canva, and you can see it for yourself. And my friends, this is what happens when you respect the hustle.
আচ্ছা তুই যে পছন্দ করস জানাইছস
জানালায় জোড়া চোর পড়ে না পলো
সেই জন্য সাইকেলের চেনটা এখানে এসেই পড়ছে।
ভাই ঠিক
কি সমস্যা? শাহরুখের ভক্তরা যে এত ভীত হয় সেটা আমি আগে বুঝতে পারি নাই। প্রেমে পড়বেন কিন্তু ইয়ে না মানে হ্যাঁ, আপনি শাহরুখ খানের ভক্ত না? শাহরুখের
সিনেমাতে শাহরুখ খানের বিপরীতে যেসব নায়িকার অভিনয় করে তাগর প্রেমে তো মেলাবার পড়ছে।
কথা আছে, আরো কাছে আসেন, আপনাকে কানে কানে একটা কথা বলবো।
পড়ে না পলো সন্ধে আকাশ।
পায়েল,
ও আমি আরো ভাবছি তুমি শাহরুখ।
তাই হারানোর ভয়ও আছে। তবে তুই তো আমার চিনোস, আমি কি কোনো খারাপ কথা কইছি? আমি কোনো ভুল কথা গেল?
বললোই তো চেনটা ঠিক হয়ে গেছে, এখন দাঁড়িয়ে আছেন কেন? যান।
করছে।
মা আমি সত্যিই জানি না কি হয়েছে, কেন শুলি এমন করছে।
তবু যাচ্ছি বহু দূরে পাশাপাশি।
জি স্যার।
ঠিক আছে,
জোবারে সীমাহীন বলা হবে কি সে গল্প।
আমি আমার মেয়েকে খুব ভালো মতো জানি, আমার মেয়ে কোনো ভুল করতে পারে না। যদি কোনো ভুল করে থাকে নেই আমার হাতে।
উপর হাত রেখে এই জীবনটা কাটিয়ে দেয়া।
তুমি কি কখনো কাউকে বল সবকিছু ঠিকঠাক তো তোমার?
ঠিকঠাক। তোমার?
তবে চলার পথে দুজনের সিদ্ধান্তকেই দুজনে গুরুত্ব দিতে হয়।
মেয়ে তো
আমার নিজের মনে হইতেছে আমি কিং বাদশা।
বেলা শেষে পেন্সিল ভাষা পেল কি?
কেমন মন মরা হইয়া থাকিস, কি হয়েছে আমার বল।
ঠিক তোমার বাচ্চা। এমনি সূত্রাবো আমি জানি না।
আমার কাছে আইডিয়া আছে। জামশেদ চাচার খবরে নিয়ে গেছে মানে
উনার কাছে ঢুকছিল তাই।
আলার পুদায় পোলাপাইন ডাকছে।
আমি তোমারে হারাইতে দিব না।
এবার যাও। বাচ্চা আজকে তোমার কি হয়েছে বলো তো?
আবার চুরি করছে।
আজকে একদিন কি তার একদিন আমি তার কাছে টাকা খেলাম আমার জমানো।
কেন হ্যাঁ আমার সংসারের টাকা চুরি কইরা জমানো টাকা চুরি কইরা তুই কি করলি?
এত বেলা করে ঘুমাইলে চলবো?
তুরু এত ভালো একটা স্বপ্ন দেখতেছিলাম আর আমার সং কইলা না, একদিন আইসো আমার পারফরমেন্স দেখতে আইসো, দেখো মানুষ কেমনে তালি দেয়।